Hello and welcome to today's video. Today we're taking on Oxford United. As you can see, we've moved up to 8th place. So yeah, that win against Plymouth pushed us up. That was actually the last game I played in the game as well. I didn't skip any since going on to this one. I'll probably play a few now after today. But as you can see, up to 8th place, only 2 points off third, a point off the playoff spot, so in a better position now. So today I'm going to be discussing early ancient Egypt, which, I mean, ancient Egypt in general is something I'm quite fascinated in. I'm very interested in history and science and things like that. And ancient Egypt, I had known quite a bit about it for quite a while. I'm going to put this on medium price. But I didn't know much certainly about early ancient Egypt and what kind of led up to the rise of ancient Egyptian civilization and the ancient Egypt that most of us would know of. So I wanted to know more about it, and so I essentially I went on to buy a book called The History of Ancient Egypt by John Romer. This was the first of two editions, basically, two in a series essentially. And this one, the subheading is From the First Farmers to the Great Pyramids. And so what's particularly interesting, I think, about it is that, it discusses, I mean, I've got to about, how many pages have I got to now? I have it here with me. 162 pages I've read so far. So still a good bit to go. But yeah, basically it's quite very interesting in that it discusses a lot about kind of what the precursors of the rise of ancient Egyptian civilization and what led to the first dynasty. King Narmer from Nakhudan in Egypt is seen by many as sort of the first pharaoh, essentially, and the beginning of the first dynasty in the first dynastic period or era of ancient Egyptian history. And it's quite very interesting. 4-3-3 is what we've gone with today, as always. And our opponent's Oxford United. I'm hoping we can beat these today now. I feel like we can. Feeling good about today. I think we can get a couple of goals, get a good win. Let's go straight right for it. Let's not hold back. Yeah, but what's very interesting about it is it discusses in quite a lot of detail the very early parts of civilizations of ancient Egypt. It's hard to remember some of the details because there's so much going on. It spans from around 6000 BC and moves through several thousand years of history, all before the rise of ancient Egyptian civilization, which itself, oh, what a start. It's Symes. It's 1-0. I did say we'd do well today, and we are 1-0 up against Oxford United within the first 5 minutes of virtual time. Great finish. Goalkeeper probably thought he was going to the other side of him. Boom. Yes. And then the goalkeeper did go the right way in the end. But yeah, actually within the first 6 virtual minutes. But yeah, we're 1-0 up. Great start. Solid start. And what's also interesting is how the times of sort of, I guess it would have been sort of prehistorical, even by the context of ancient Egyptian history, they probably would have seen it as a prehistorical period. What was so interesting about it was how relatively peaceful it was. I mean, there was the Nakhdans before the initial unification of Egypt, during the first dynasty, around, I think it was maybe 3000 BC, around that, the 4th millennium or 5th millennium BC, I believe. I'm still trying to remember all the details from it. There's just a lot of information compressed into any history book because history is so detailed. I mean, you just kind of think of, how much we see in just a 10-year period, for example. And yes, the world is far more fast changing nowadays, but even still, a lot can happen in 10 years, regardless of what era you're in. So, thousands of years can pass, and that in itself is longer than, okay, good defending in the end. That in itself is longer than sort of the period from the fall of ancient Egypt to the Romans up to this day, where we are now. All that time that's passed. Oh, here's a chance. Oh, couldn't get past them, but here comes... couldn't get past them either. You can see we get updates of other scores. Sheffield United losing to Mansfield. That's an interesting one. But we get into sort of, reading the book, you kind of find that, and I'd highly recommend it. I'll put the link in the description box below. And of course, the second book, I'm certainly going to buy that as well. That's one of two books that I'm mostly reading at the moment. That was a bad pass. The other book, which I'll discuss more of when I've read more of it, I've only literally started it there, I believe it was 2 days ago, or was it just yesterday even, The Rise and Fall of the Dinosaurs. It's a very interesting sort of book, it seems, and kind of is capturing my interest a bit more at the moment, but certainly ancient Egypt is one of my biggest interests, and it's actually the subject for a novel I'm working on at the moment, which I won't go into too much detail of just yet, but it's a novel set in ancient Egypt essentially, and it's based on that. And I find reading it and learning about the early history is quite relevant, as I learned quite a bit that might be relevant to the book in some way or another. I certainly find that perhaps, I'm only working on the first draft now, so I imagine that by the time I've got around to the second draft, and hopefully have read or be at least in the middle of reading the second book in this series and reading more about the ancient Egypt that we know of. Although this book will go in a bit to that, I believe it says to the Great Pyramids, so you'll get to that stage of ancient Egypt. But it'll be interesting to read the full extent of ancient Egypt in a bit more detail. Even if, of course, a book of several hundred pages is simply not enough to capture all of that time, which is what I was just talking about a few moments ago, in regards to sort of the timeline. I mean, the time since the fall of ancient Egypt up to now, that early Egypt, and what came there in terms of early sort of civilizations and cultures from the end of the last ice age until the rise of the first dynasty was a substantially greater period. And it looks like we got a corner. Yep, just about went out. Corner kicks. So, and that's what the commentator just said. Corner kick as well. Yeah. No, it's probably going to be half time now. Don't want to give away a silly goal before half time. That's good. From Diamond. The lad plays it through to Key. Just not enough on that ball. Is he onside? He is. Gonna have a shot. I was hoping I could force the keeper to hit out for a corner, but it didn't work, and that should be half time. Indeed it is. So 1-0 first half. I'm certainly not an expert on the area of early ancient Egypt, so as you can see, I'm trying to recall a lot from the book. It's just taking in so much information, but it's fascinating to read about. Probably the sort of book I'd love to read a second time. There's the goal from Symes. Perfect start. But we failed to capitalise on it just yet. We really would like to, because conceding goals has been a big folly of ours over the past few seasons, and it continues to be this season. Symes on the ball again. Now, there we go. That's a bit more like it now. Good flow of the ball now. Oh, took a deflection, but we close them down now. Oh wait, hang on. Diamond. McDonald. Now, who's looking for it? Oh yes. Surely this... No. One issue with world class mode is the goalkeepers can often be quite good. That's offside, is it? No, it's not. It's a goal. Okay, I'll take that. 2-0. I will take that any day. Great goal. Great finish. Couldn't believe my luck that we got there. That doesn't happen much in a world class mode, you know, I have to say. And they are making a substitution. Think I might bring on Gibbs. Good old Gibbs. But yeah, I'd highly recommend buying this book. It's very interesting. I mean, there's a lot of details. I mean, you know, it's not the. I mean, certainly the first half of the book is not the most dramatic of stories as far as history goes, but it's interesting if you want to know to sort of fill in the details about just having an overview of aspects of history that perhaps you haven't heard much of before. I think it's fantastic from that point of view, and I will allow the goal scorer to come off for a round of applause from the fans. Maybe a bit early in the game for that, but we are 2-0 to the good. I'm not saying we can't give away a 2-goal lead. We certainly conceded many goals and given away leads before, but I don't know if we've ever given away a 2-goal lead. Maybe we have. But I don't see it happening today. I don't see us conceding today, in fact. We're playing quite solidly now. I was looking for it. Oh, Key. He wasn't going to get through there. Who's that to now? Oh, Symes. Good block from their defender. Come on, let's close them down. Put them under pressure. Oh, yes, yes. Oh, great stuff from Weir, I have to say. He would deserve a goal there if he got it. He really kept pushing them now. But yeah, and yeah, so what I was saying as well was the lack of ore is quite interesting. The Nakodans, you know, they spread into much of historical Egypt at the time, and they spread even into the Middle East and around modern day Israel, modern day Palestine, around that area. And you know, they they were migrating to different areas and settling around different places, but they didn't seem to be invasive in their approach. There wasn't much evidence of warfare at the time. Good save. Oh, what a goal from Key. Absolutely perfect. Great finish. 3-0. And this is the sort of win I was hoping to get. Great finish. That's how you do it. And we are starting to play like league winners, let alone a team who can just about make it into the playoffs. Oh yes, fantastic goal. Yeah, great move from Ho. Selfless from Ho. Great from Key. And it's 3-0. Oh, this is a cool angle. Boom. And there are the changes now. So it's actually quite a good time. And there, Symes, one of the goal scorers, will be going off. So I shall applaud. But yeah, and also the natives to this for different areas that the Nakodans are spreading to weren't aggressive to the arrival of them at all. I feel like Ho should deserve a goal for his selfless paper. I feel Weir also deserves a goal for his efforts. Everyone on this team deserves a goal today. Won't happen, of course, but would have been tough to concede. You know, after we've been doing so well, I wouldn't have liked to have conceded a goal. Probably should avoid doing the short passes. It's tempting because, well, you get to the point quicker and you don't know exactly if you're going to get it right if you kick it out. But Gotta be more professional about it. Alright, McGurk on the ball. Can we get a fourth? We might do. That's not great. I think Hull should have went for attack there, and in other words, I think I should have went for it. But yeah, so early ancient Egypt, a time of simplicity to a certain degree, but also a lot of innovative art from the Naquadans, and very peaceful times, relatively speaking, but certainly there were quite a few tough punishments there, but not a brutal period as some historians, especially from the West in previous times, would have made it out to be. In fact, quite an enlightened time in many ways. Perhaps more civil than... Oh yes, 4-0. Perhaps more civil than ancient Egyptian civilization throughout the dynasties itself. But there we go. Hull got his goal. I'm happy for him. Ugh, I don't want this game to end. We're doing so well. Can't be like this in every match, of course, but I'll take that 4-0 win any day. So yeah, we got the win we came here looking for. 4-0. I love that angle. It's great. And that should be that then. We've beaten Oxford United by 4-0. And you know, that'll put us in a better position in the league. Alright, great win today. Ho, Key, Weir, Symes, all on the score sheet. And I'm very happy with the performance. Much better. I'm sure you probably enjoy watching that more than some of the other games where it hasn't gone so well. But the last two games have gone quite well. And I'm delighted that goal didn't go in from Oxford. We've won by 4-0. And I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.